Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is the second episode of this series, but what I've done is I've restarted because my previous strategy completely failed down here on the Italian front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a defensive strategy here with France, and we'll go through how I'm setting up my initial how I'm setting everything up to basically do this strategy. And so what we're going to do in a nutshell is we're going to fortify this northern border all the way across, right? We've already got fortifications built over here on the Maginot Line, but we're also going to fortify clear across through Luxembourg and Belgium. We're going to do the same thing on the Italian front. We're going to try to get troops into the Spanish Civil War to influence that, because we really want the Republicans to win that war. That can be kind of tricky. And we are going to set up production to support infantry battalions initially to keep everything simple. So if we look at the French, they have a lot of issues. They've got inefficient economy, which is knocking down their factory production. They have political violence, which is going to affect stability. They have full employment, which basically cuts back on recruitable population. We've got the Maginot Line, but that's not a big deal. Disjointed government is a huge deal, though. We have to do something with that. It's cutting back on stability. Basically, if we have any type of incident, the government falls apart, which is just not going to work. And then we have victors of the Great War, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, but what we're going to initially do under the national tree is we are going to come up and do what they call revive national block, and then go down the laissez-faire side. And then once we get down here, we're going to review foreign policy, and then jump down through here probably with buy time, and then strengthen the government and defensive strategy, which should take care of, I mean, defensive strategy is going to do away with our disjointed government. We'll have a year wait from the time we do strengthen government until we get defensive stratagems. And then the other thing we're going to work is this the Blum-Vollet proposal. I'm sure I didn't say that right, but then so we're going to go through there, which should help with our manpower issues. So I think I'm going to go down here, and then I'm going to encourage immigration, which should help us go down that path to fix things. Now, along with that, once the Spanish Civil War breaks out, which this is January 1936, so sometime in the next year that's going to happen, we're going to select intervention in Spain. We kind of have our hands tied to some degree, because we can't really intervene in Spain until this world unrest thing goes over. I think it's like 50%, but we're going to deal with that. We're going to pretty much ignore, well, we're not going to completely ignore the Air Force, but the Naval Army. We're not going to go down those national trees at the beginning, though. But we are going to go through begin rearmament and push right down this side over here on the defensive focus until we get army reforms. So that is our main focus here. So we've got the game paused. I'm just going to go ahead and click that and get that started. Okay, so back over here under production, we are short on infantry equipment, and we're falling behind by 100 pieces of equipment. I think it's like every day, per day, we're 100. That number increases by 100. So what we're going to do is come over here into production, and we have 2 extra factories. We are going to put that in there, and we're going to keep on building infantry equipment, support equipment, until we get all this caught up. Now, to get ready for our, you know, when the war breaks out, what we're going to do is we're going to start training infantry regiments. We're just going to train 3 at a shot, and we're going to have it continue to train all the time, not going to stop. And we'll just put them over here, and we'll get them set up on the border here. Now, initially for our units, let's see what we've got. We've got, if I put this into here, I've got 30 units selected. I can't put 30 in there because there's no commander that's going to handle 30 units. He's going to handle 24 at a shot. So we're going to need to take 6 of these out. So I will grab these 2 and probably these 2. And that brings him to 24. And we are going to have him start his training. Now you see down here on the bottom there's this plus arrow or plus sign next to his name. If we click on that, we can basically go through and run out some of his traits. So we'll do this trickster, which he's already got, and then we'll do guerrilla fighter, which makes his entrenchment speed a lot faster. It costs 15 to do that, so we can't do anybody else with that one. But he's training his units. We are going to go through, and I think we got this guy. We've pulled him out. We are going to pull the rest of these over into here. That gives him 10. We'll put some 19. We will put those in there. And I'm not really worrying about being too efficient right at the moment. When we get to hostilities prior to probably about 1938, or definitely by the beginning of 39, I will break these up into several different armies. And just as a warning, once you get these fortifications, and we'll look at this in a minute, but you get your units set along these borders with the fortifications and hostilities start, you do not want them to move, because if they move out of one of these fortified sections and the Germans get in there, they have now punched a hole in your line, and you will not last much longer after that happens. Okay, let's take a look. What do we've got? We've got these guys down here left. We're going to put them together along with all of these other units. And to be fair, I think once hostilities break out, I would probably move all these other units back into France. I say that. I'd have to see where things are going, but I'm going to go ahead and start training them up. I want maximum army training going on to basically maximize my experience level, so I can use it to basically build up the, improve on the army. We're going to do the same thing with this guy. These ones over here in Asia, I think I'm going to stick this guy in charge of them. And so what I'm choosing here is people who have basically supply consumption where they're not consuming as much supplies. Now our construction, what we're building over here, what we're going to do is I've only got 14 factories. I got 33 owned, but I'm using some for import-export, right? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select these, and I'm going to put and distribute this, basically moving them around everywhere. I'm going to build up some more of these factories. And then once that's done, I am going to come through and start building up military factories and putting those pretty much everywhere. Now, whenever that we start out, this is going to go really slow, but as we make our progression through the national tree, we will actually end up picking up production, and it'll go a little bit faster. Now, the next thing I'm doing is building. Oh, crap, I did that completely wrong. Let's go back through and not put those down there. I want them on the Belgian border, and I thought that's where I was putting them, but I was not. We're going to build these along the Belgian border, and also over here all the way into Luxembourg. And then we're going to come down here and do the same thing on the Italian border. And we're going to, so these will go through, these are going to build really fast. And so we're not too fussed about them. I'm going to put 3 in at a shot. What I want to do is get them up to a minimum of 6. There are some selections along the national tree that will actually put more along there. Okay, so we've got that set up now. Now the next thing we are going to do is come in here into the research. We've only got 3 research slots, right? Now if we come back over here, one of the other things I need to do is go down this research 3, devalue the franc, because this gives me an extra research slot, and so does this one. And that'll give me a total of 5. And I want that, but I need to get my government fixed before I can really go through and take advantage of that. So for research, we're going to focus initially on production. We want to basically get our factories as efficient as possible. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I need to go over here. And I'm also going to come down this electronics engineering. It's really critical, and the reason being electronics engineering has our computing machines, which increases our research speed. We also have our encryption, which makes it so people can't basically look at what we're doing. And then we have decryption, which if we have that, and like, so if I had a decryption level 2, Germany only had an encryption level 1, I could actually see a lot of their communications. And we'll also build up a little radar thing initially. Now it's tempting to go down this nuclear road, but the cost is just going to be too great right now. It takes 4 years, so whenever the war starts, I will have just built an atomic research thing, and without a nuclear reactor and a bomb, I mean, I'm looking at a bomb in 45, and really France won't last that long. All right, so that's where we're going to sit up, and so we're just going to let that run. And what I'll do is, because this will be relatively boring here, but we're going to end up coming along some decision points, and I'll talk about those really briefly. So right now, this whole region you can see that's highlighted in red is German. It's the Rhineland. And so what will end up happening is Germany is going to want to remilitarize that. And to be able to stop them, it's going to cost me 100 political points. Now, sometimes I think about doing this, and I had a strategy where I could put Charles de Gaulle along this border, and they have no military here, and when they go into Poland, I go in and seize the Rhineland, which would cause them a lot of havoc, right? Because they've got, you know, factories in here, all kinds of stuff, and I would be able to damage their production. I thought about that. It's not really working too great for me, and it's really tempted to try it again, but I want to be able to do well in this game, so I'm going to just stick with my defensive strategy. The other thing you're going to run into is when they break up the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia, you can intervene into that. Probably won't, though. It's like it's wanting you to push troops through, and I want to have all these borders fortified. Now, as a plan, if I cannot get into Spain and turn that to the Republican side soon enough, basically I've got a couple options. I've got to build fortifications and commit troops along this Spanish border here. The other thing is I can come up in here into diplomacy, and like, so you see Germany here. Well, I can boost party popularity, and what that's going to do is it's going to boost like the Democratic Party. So there's Democratic parties, communist and fascist in Germany, and so I'm going to end up boosting the Democratic Party. And whenever I get it pushed over far enough, and I'm going to do this in Spain. If I get it pushed over far enough, their government might change to democracy, and I might be good. If it doesn't, well, I can actually come down here and stage a coup, and what that'll cause a civil war in their country, and then I just need to have enough arms to be able to supply that civil war. So France will not be ready for this for at least another 2.5 years as we go through and fix things. So that's my strategy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this out, and this is the first part of this game. It starts in January 1936. Excellent game. It is kind of boring to watch up and through there, but I kind of enjoy it because it sets the pace for the war. And so I will come back in and provide another kind of update after I played for a bit and show you where I'm at with the game. And then once I get to where things are going, we'll have little segments where you can see what's going on. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a like. And if you'd like to help my channel out, please subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you back again. Thanks for watching.